Good morning, juniors. Today we're going to spend time pre-bubbling your ACT forms so that you don't have to take time to do that next Tuesday. As I'm talking, please remember that the ACT will be given next Tuesday, March 5th. You will report to homeroom briefly. As soon as we get everyone in homeroom, we will be putting you on 6 different activity buses, maybe even yellow buses, and transporting you to the Hickory Metro Trade Center. You will be there almost all day. You will come back for block 4. We will bring lunch over to you from our cafeteria. We will also provide snacks. Some of you will not be going to the Metro Trade Center if you have accommodations that say one-on-one testing or separate room or extended time. Mrs. Moose will be testing you separately here at school sometime after Tuesday, March the 5th. But for our purposes today, you should have in front of you a number 2 pencil, an audit sheet, and that's what you use during registration because you'll need that in a little while. And then once your teachers have passed out the document, the answer document, I need you to turn it to the back page, and you will see this yellow label. On this yellow label, all you need to check is your name and date of birth. Please make sure those are correct. If your name is spelled incorrectly or if your date of birth is different, let your teacher know. Teachers at this point just simply write the corrected information on a sticky note, place it on the form. Ms. Moose will take care of that later. So I'm going to give you just a moment to check that. All right, now turn your answer document to the very first page, lay it in front of you. All right, at this point in time, we are going to complete most of the boxes on the first page, A through H. The very first thing you need to do is complete the top section, box A, with your name, address, state, city, state, and zip. Even if your information is correct on the label that you just looked at, you still need to include this. On part B, you fill in your name and then fill in the corresponding bubbles. If there isn't anything in a blank, please bubble that top one, and we'll give you time to do this in a minute. So just follow through with me, and then I'll give you time in just a minute to do all of this. Part C, go ahead and mark this out. This asks for your Social Security number, and this is not something that we are going to give out. So put an X, big X in that box. D simply asks for your month, day, and year of your birth. If your birthday falls between 1 and 9, like May 2nd, for example, it would be 02, and you would bubble 02. Then E, you're just going to blacken the circle that says female or male. In F, it's your ethnicity, and you can choose prefer not to respond if you want to. Let me tell you just a minute why they ask for ethnicity. In the information that principals and schools receive back, it helps us know if there are gaps, if there are learning gaps within particular cultures or races. So that's why it's important not to point you out, but just so we know how to better provide instruction. So E, F, G, what is your citizen? All right, now we're going to complete this bottom portion, section M. You will need to turn in your test booklet to page 11 to start this process. You have 4 opportunities to have your scores sent to colleges. This is where you designate the colleges where you want your scores sent from the ACT. So for example, if you want to look at North Carolina schools, which is where most of you will attend, if you will turn to page 15, you will see North Carolina colleges, universities, and community colleges. Just for our purposes today, I selected Appalachian, Lenoir-Rhyne, UNC Chapel Hill, and Catawba Valley Community College. Those are the numbers that I bubbled in. First choice, second choice, third choice, fourth choice. So just right above here, I penciled in Appalachian just so I would remember. But if you look at Appalachian on page 15, the code is 3062. And that's exactly what I bubbled in, 3062. So we'll stop for just a moment. You need to select 4 colleges or universities. If you absolutely don't plan on going to a college or university, leave this blank. But most of you will go to a technical school, community college, or 4-year college. You will find these in here. Savannah School of the Arts is in here. UTT out of Knoxville, Tennessee is in here. But you go to that particular state, find that particular post-secondary learning institution, and write the corresponding number, and then make those bubbles. So we'll pause here for just a moment. All right, we are almost finished with this first page. This last block, you need to read it very carefully. If you do not plan to go to college, and that's any college, technical school, community college, or 4-year college, if you do not plan to go to college, you are going to circle in this first bubble. If you are planning to go to college, but you do not want your ACT scores sent anywhere, you darken that second bubble. So go ahead and do that now, please. The first bubble, if you're not going to college. The second one, if you're planning to, but you don't want the scores to be sent. Okay, now turn in your booklet to page 3 and find the box that asks for your email address. We'll come back to this box later. The email address, go ahead and put in your exact email address Alright, so we're finished with the first page. We're almost finished with page 3. Turn your booklet over to the very last page. We need to now complete N through R. And basically that is just your mailing address. I know it's on the back page. Don't ask me why they want you to bubble it in, but they do. The only thing I would caution you is, for example, I use the school's address right here, which is 3205 34th Street Drive Northeast. Make sure that you leave a blank between any parts of the address. So I left a blank between the house number and the street number, a blank between 34th and street, a blank between street and drive, and a blank between drive and northeast. If you want to use your abbreviations, you may do that as well. You do not have to write out street or drive. You may use the abbreviations as found in your test booklet. Go ahead and complete Hickory and North Carolina, and I can see that I've made a mistake. I did NC, but I forgot to bubble. So make sure that all of your bubbles are bubbled. And then finally, the zip code 28601. If it's a Hickory address, it could be 28613, 28603, whatever your mailing address zip code is. Go ahead and do that. All right, here we are, back to the front again. This time open it up to page 2. This is where you will need your audit sheets. So if you don't have your audit sheet just in front of you, please take it out now. The audit sheet is what you use during registration that told you the classes that you've already taken and the grade, your final semester average. So as you look down through here, let's do this part first, then we'll do the A, B, C, D, E, or F. Each of you at this point in time has taken English 1, English 2, and you either took English 3 first semester or you are currently taking English 3 now. And then English 4 you will take next year. So this first column says that you have taken or are currently taking. That's what goes there. If you've not taken it but you will, such as English 4, you haven't taken it yet but you will, that's where you place this bubble. And where it says other, for example, that would be an AP class. So if you intend to take AP Lit and Comp next year, you're just going to bubble this. Then let's go down. We're going to do the same with Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and Geometry. I have left some of them blank. For example, Trigonometry we don't offer. So leave that blank. You don't have an opportunity to take that. I've also last part. Finally, we're almost finished. We will not be completing the student profile section. There are things on here that you would not necessarily know. We're not going to spend your time trying to answer things that you may not even have knowledge about. But if you will turn to page 3 at the top above the email, this is called an interest. All right, thank you so much. Now, at this point in time, in just a moment, your teachers will be taking up these answer sheets